Hey, this is Kellen from Wizard Tricks, and today we are going to talk about a little stuff on the map. Now, have you ever wondered what the flag is? Well, we're tapping on it, we're finding out what it is. It is a place where basically you can see this big old highlight. You see when you tap it, it highlights this whole little area, and it's basically a nest of artifacts. It's basically or a nest of foundables, rather, of this particular type. So you'll always basically have this type in this area. So you can basically see, it'll basically say, you know, more mysterious artifact traces can be found here. So it's exactly what it is. It's basically a big old nest of where you can find these particular foundables. So I'm going to be going over, I'm going to show you a bunch of these different nests, but you can basically see that these are the types of things that are going to pop up more frequently. So you can see here, I can go and tap it, and that's what's gonna show up. So those are the foundables. If you're ever like searching for a specific one, or you're working on trying to prestige a certain type of confoundable, then these are what you're gonna wanna look out for in your city, so you know where to go, where to play. It can be very helpful. Like I know if I get one more, I'll be able to get the Rememberal tag. So, very loud truck. Very loud muffler right there, but anyways, you can basically see that's what you get to have. So Pokemon Go players are pretty familiar with this because there's nests in Pokemon Go where a specific type of Pokemon will pop up more frequently inside of that nest, in that environment. And that's basically the same here, except in Wizards Unite, you can actually see it. So all port key unlocked. I got a fun little port key video coming up for you guys as well, so subscribe for that, subscribe to the channel for that. But yeah, so basically hotspots, it's going to happen here a lot. You're going to find a lot of these types of confoundables here as well. So definitely keep an eye out in your city for those. But like I was saying about Pokemon Go, you don't get to see where the nests are in Pokemon Go. You have to like basically keep track of it, and they rotate. So I do also think that we're going to have some rotation, but we'll talk about that later in the video. But the point is, in Wizards Unite, it actually tells you which ones are there. It literally tells you where you can find these, which is fantastic. I think that's a great call by Niantic. More information to the players and more ways to get the players out and about and going after a specific prestige for a confoundable class, basically. So definitely check it out. Keep it aware. Be aware of when you're going around the city where these flags are, because you're going to want to pay attention. So let me show you some more around the city. We'll keep talking about the nests, or basically location-based areas that you can find specific confoundables. So looking forward to showing you some more. So let's check it out. All right, okay, so we're at this next park, and you can see there is another flag here, and this time it is a More Magical Creatures Game and Sports Traces. So this is basically the park where you can basically find more of that. So if you're in Ventura and you want some more games and basically games and sports, magical games and sports, then this is where you want to come from. You can see the area again that it pops up. Now, the one thing I do want to say is that they tend to be in, these flags tend to be in places that there's a lot of play in. So parks, people, like places that Niantic wants you and WB wants you to go play at. So large shopping centers, large areas like that, they're going to want you to play in. So they're going to have flags there. Also, they're also going to have nests in parks like this where they want people to go play. So a lot of times you'll see a park, almost like every park I've ever seen has one of these nests or flags for these confoundables. So you can pretty much go, if you have a park nearby or you're out playing in a new city or anything like that, go to a park, and that's where you're going to find these flags primarily that are going to pop up. Now, also, I happen to be in a bad spot, but they tend to pop up more frequently when you're in them. So maybe if I like walk over here, it'll pop up or something like that, or not. You know, you never know, but we'll see. But also, you can see here there's another one, and this is actually another place that actually where that post is actually a gym in Pokemon Go. So it's also a place where people play a lot here in Ventura. They stop at that gym pretty frequently, and you can see actually this whole area. Like, let's expand this out. Look at this whole area that is basically this particular nest for confoundables. And it's of course dark arts traces, and they can be found basically all over here, which is interesting because this is like a big neighborhood area. I've not seen one that's really been expansive throughout a whole neighborhood, but you could live in a complex area where you have a a nest of a specific type of confoundable where you are. So if I drive around in this area, you'll see these pop up, which is great. So again, another example of these types of posts and these nests popping up inside of Wizards Unite. So yeah, that is another example of this. I have a couple other spots I'm going to take you to, so let's get to it. Okay, so back at the trusty park, of course, and here we're actually getting a little bit more spawns. I don't know what we're up with that other place, but we actually got some spawns here. And you can see this park is also magical games and sport traces are here. So we got confoundables that are of that nature. It's interesting because I've found that a lot of times these are being grouped together. Like for instance, the first location I was at, there were multiple flags close by of that. And you can see one, there's one here of magical games and sport. There's also one over here, which is at just that little space there. But then you can also see this park over here is also magical games and sports as well. So I found that these are being grouped together. So Niantic is like sectioning out specific areas and placing these in almost groupings. It's not always that way, but I'm finding it's that way more often than not. So you kind of have to, if you want to play and you want to find other stuff that's going on, you're gonna want to figure out different places to go play, not just in like your local neighborhood. You're gonna need to go out and play in other places. And I'm gonna complete a wizarding challenge, by the way, right now, because I need to complete that for my daily task. So I'm gonna talk to you guys and play at the same time. Yes, I can do both, I think. We'll try. So that is basically what to look out for when you're playing the game and trying to complete prestige. And it is pretty important. I know I haven't really talked about prestiging your registry at all, but prestiging your registry is a pretty big aspect of the game. I will do another video on it, but this is gonna set you up. If you start taking note of where all these different nests are for confoundables, you'll find that prestiging your registry goes a lot smoother, which is again which is important. I did mention earlier in the video that I do expect that these will change, and the reason that I think that is going to be the case is because in Pokemon Go, nests change. I forget exactly what the frequency of change is, but every few weeks or every I think it's more than every quarter of a year that they do it. So I think maybe like once a month or whatever it ends up being, there are rotations of nests in Pokemon Go. And I think we're going to see something similar like that inside of Wizards Unite with these nests, as they call them in Pokemon Go, but these basically hotspots for different confoundables inside of Wizards Unite. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's something that I'm curious for us to potentially see as we move forward in the game as well, because it will add, your local area will have different stuff in it. It'll change, and you'll be able to take advantage of some of the different types of confoundables, and you'll be able to prestige confoundable registries much easier, or different ones. It won't always be the same one every single time. And again, I'll repeat myself because I think it's a really great thing, the fact that Niantic is actually telling you where to go and play to find certain confoundables, where in Pokemon Go, it's not that way. It's much more elusive, or it's something you have to really focus on and pay attention to. But in Pokemon Go, it's basically when a certain Pokemon spawns in a certain area more than other types of Pokemon. For instance, like a Sandshrew. Like if a Sandshrew is found, or a Pikachu is found frequently in a certain area, then it would be considered a Pikachu nest in Pokemon Go. So that's again what we're seeing here with Wizards Unite and the nest here. So it's a pretty big deal. I'm pretty I actually really love the idea and the concept. It adds more to the map as well. Watch this. Masterful. Boom. Masterful. So remember, slow is smooth, or slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Remember that. But yeah, so really excited that they've done this. I think it's a great aspect. Oh, level 13, check it out, or level 14. On stream. Look at that, look at you guys. I'm excited. I got this actually on a stream. Every time I level up, it's always off of when I'm actually recording, so I always have to like throw it in there. But sweet, mid-recording, that is awesome. Level 14, guys. So I think that's pretty much we'll end the video. That's pretty much all I had to say on that topic. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully that was helpful and educational, and you learned something about Wizard Unite that makes it a little bit easier to have fun with the game, get out there and play with all your friends and family, and level up your registries and find the confoundables that you want to find inside of Wizard Unite. So like I said, if you found that helpful, definitely like the video, give me a bunch of likes, and if there's any other topics you guys want covered, definitely leave a comment for those. I'd love to hear what they are. And of course, subscribing to the channel is a big help. It motivates me to keep going and produce awesome content for you guys, so I appreciate the support. Every single subscribe is like a burst of energy for the channel, so I appreciate it all. So I'm excited to continue to share these great videos with you guys, so I appreciate all the feedback and all of the awesome responses I've gotten, so thank you for that, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.